Amazing.
Is the saga of my freaking life. My hair gets caught in my watch band.
Oh no.
This and it's just like, hi everybody. Here's my hair in my watch band, right? And then it's worse when I'm eating dinner, like especially when I go out to dinner and just got your table setting.
Yeah.
Because this is magnetic, and so when I put this down, I'll like lift my arm and there's like a fork. I was my clients were taking me to dinner, and this is like highfalutin agency, and so this is like complete heart chakra because like there's grief, because embarrassment, so it ties into this. And my arm comes up, and it's the knife and the fork stuck. Okay, this is only a multi-million-dollar contract, no big deal. And I fling my arm, like I don't know why I thought flinging it would help, and then a knife and fork shot like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, you made an impression, I'm sure.
I was like, well, I just stabbed somebody a little bit. That's it. Hi guys, we are welcome and thank you guys so much for joining tonight. And I'm just making sure. Hold on, we were going live. We are live, so
yes,
just double check. Hi, welcome to the Talk with my just OG for the original for metaphysical. Sound guided meditation, the amazing Lauren. Hopefully you guys remember her, but Lauren, take a couple seconds to introduce yourself again.
Thank you for having me back. I'm Lauren. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, and I am blessed to have Adrienne in my life as a cohort in our spiritual gangsterism. I mean, like you call me OG, like I gotta bring it back. So
I was like, I thought you were gonna say you're grateful because I make you freaking laugh. I was like, yeah.
Yep. Bring me right into my heart chakra.
Oh my gosh. Oh, guys, format for tonight is going to be pretty loose. A couple things that I just wanted to make sure everybody does is that keep the comments going. We're going to be Lauren and I are going to be peeping the comments because it's going to be really conversational tonight. A little bit of lecture, but more conversational because Lauren and I have been picking up on some things energetically the last month. And we've kind of noticed this interesting predicament, if you will. And this predicament is the life predicament. It's the human predicament, which is how do you balance what your heart wants, what your heart's desires are? That is your heart chakra. How do you balance that? What does your heart really want? And then how with taking action in your solar plexus chakra, and how do you actually go out and do it and manifest and create the things that you want in the life that you want? So go back to a refresher. You guys know the heart chakra it's exactly what it sounds like. It is your heart chakra. It is your place for love and relationships. Some of the goals, and I'm cheating tonight because I want to make sure that I get all of this in. I'm using the book called Charger. What is it? Energetic Body? Charge? Energetic Body. I always say Charge Your Life, and I'm like, that sounds like another person. So this is about love and relationships, not just relationships with others, but also your relationship with yourself. How do you view yourself? How do you love on yourself? How do you take care? How do you want to be loved? Because quite frankly, you can't expect love from a whole bunch of people if you have like this much love for yourself, right? So all of that makes sense, right? What are some things that holds it and keeps it trapped? It's grief. It's holding on to I should have, I could have, right? That's the grief energy that blocks your heart chakra. Some excessive characteristics, codependent, as I call them, clingy ass people. So codependency is part of it, having poor personal boundaries. A lot of times this comes up in the solar plexus chakra, which we'll get into in a second, but this is also part of the heart chakra, having poor boundaries, being possessive, being jealous and narcissistic. These are all deficiencies that come out through the heart chakra. Let's go to the solar plexus chakra really quickly. This is your house of willpower. Remember, this is color yellow. This is I do, right? I don't know why I felt like Captain Planet was ready to jump out. So this is all about vitality, your strength, your willpower, and your self-esteem. So see why we're talking about these two chakras, because you've got your heart chakra, how you view yourself, and then your self-esteem, right? Thank you so much, Miss May. You are very, very sweet for the super chat. That was so incredibly sweet. Thank you so much. So I've noticed this trend, and I've noticed this not just with clients and just having conversations and kind of picking up energetically. I've noticed this within my damn self. Because as healers, as Lauren and I were talking about just a few minutes ago, we are so great at calling everybody else's crap out. And sometimes we have to go, like, I'll have this session with my client. I'm like, yes, and you should do this, and this is great, and blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as I end, my guides are like, I'm so proud of you. That was such great advice. You're really tuning in, and you're just a great healer. But when the F are you going to do this for you? How do you want to chime in on that, Lauren? What do you want?
It's all so relevant. It's so true. And, what I was kind of touching on before this is that before all of life got flipped upside down a few months ago, I felt like I had a kind of my routine, and because of routine, things would really be organized. Like, I'm going to do this day, and I'm going to do that this day. And then everything got flipped upside down, and the accountability to ourselves to do the practices is different, especially for me, who's a yoga and meditation teacher. And I'm typically teaching 3 to 4 classes a day. So it's like, I'm in those practices all day. Well, it's like, how do I provide that for myself at home? And for me, it took me kind of like, I had to redo my whole meditation space just so that I'd get back in there. I'm like, I need to make this space feel good and, make it inviting and have it be, a place where I want to be, but it's still, the accountability is a challenge. And the key is finding people that help you be accountable and, reaching out to other healers. Like, I've been watching some of Adrienne's YouTubes just to get me back in my own practice. And, it's like, you have to kind of bounce off of each other that way. But what I've noticed with myself is I'm in this group now of women who were doing this Artist Way book, and the accountability to remain active has made a huge difference of my ability to be in the flow and feel like I did before quarantine started, back to feeling in those practices and actually holding myself accountable. But it's not easy.
I've noticed the longer this goes on, even as states are opening up, a lot of people are like, I don't quite know if I'm going to go and be that social yet. I'm noticing the longer this goes on, the more my personal practice just turns to shit.
Yeah.
And I need to do better about that. Jace, I'm going to call you out just because I know you won't get mad at me for doing this, because I just know you won't. I was having a great conversation with Jace. She's just a great friend. She's one of the moderators tonight. Jace is like, Adrienne, when are you going to take care of yourself? You are back-to-back full-time job. You're helping everybody. You've got clients. You're healing the world. When are you going to take a moment for yourself? And I was like, yes, mama. I was just like, you know what? And that's right. And so accountability is really, really big. How do you hold yourself accountable in a loving way? Yes. So what are some ways to do that, in your opinion?
In my opinion, to me, as far as heart energy, breathing practices are number one. The heart chakra is associated with the element of air. So it is literally breath. It is our space of being breathed, breathing in the energy of the earth and allowing that to kind of move through us. So when I'm feeling off-centered that way and disconnected from my true desires of what I want for myself and what I want for my life, breathing is my first practice for this specific center.
I'm noticing, I'm sorry, go ahead. We're going to say something else?
No, you go.
I'm noticing for myself is a practice that I really wish I would have done in my younger 20s, in my teens. I would have thought you were crazy. It's just saying, Adrienne, it's okay, you're human.
Yes.
And I have been saying that to myself a lot lately, that I'm like, holy shit. Because I'll just stop and I'm like, Adrienne, it's okay, you're human. It's okay to be
Amazing.
You're human. And
Yes.
just that, bang the bowl, I say that. Just the release of letting go, because it's getting out of that judgment and releasing
Yes.
grief that I would have potentially started holding into my heart chakra, which
Yes.
impacted my solar plexus, my ability to go out and take charge, to remember that I have free will, I am in control. All of it would have turned to shit had I not just for a second said, Adrian, it's okay. You're human. And just forgive myself. Guys, what about you? What are some ways you guys are some accountability? Are any of you guys in accountability groups? I was in one that lasted a hot 15 minutes. It's okay. I can hold myself accountable, but when I know people are not holding themselves accountable, not a defeating exercise. What if some of you guys are working on showing yourself kindness and showing yourself love? Please share and share for the group so we can, because this may help. You have no idea who this can help.
Yes.
And if you need more, tips, throw it in the chat. Be like, Lauren, Adrian, help. What are some other ways? I got a book. And I noticed, I want to go back while you guys are chiming in with some how you're working through your heart chakra and just love and forgiveness for yourself. Miss May was talking about codependency, especially in the family setting. That is a bitch. I'm just going to say it. Codependency is very hard. I had a mother who had codependency tendencies and tactics, and it was hard. That also is such a tear on not just the heart chakra, but also the solar plexus chakra.
Yes, huge.
That's tough. There are ways you can get through and kind of learn how to set up, again, those personal boundaries, which goes again with both the heart and the solar plexus chakra. But codependency is tough. And especially when you realize that you may end up have had some codependency tendencies at one point. It's a lot to deal with. So Miss May, I'm sending you lots of love and light on that one.
Yes. And that's so interesting because the topic of boundaries has been arising so much lately energetically, and it's astrologically also, but I even had a conversation with a dear friend of mine today about, we both have had the experience lately of clients and friends, just their boundaries are completely shifting right now and are almost non-existent. And I think it's because people are in this state of confusion right now. And everybody's boundaries, because our normal day-to-day boundaries are gone.
Yeah.
People are pushing it with personal boundaries in all these challenging ways that they would not have necessarily done before. But because everybody's being pushed to the brink, in other ways with boundaries, they're then trying to explore what that looks like in relationships. So now really is a time to kind of assess how you can set boundaries that make you feel more supported, and that takes some work. It's not just
a lot of work.
It does.
It's
a
not
lot of awareness.
Boundaries doesn't take the work. It is forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Bullying yourself for setting the boundaries.
Right.
That's the work.
Yeah.
5 Paces art journal. That's brilliant. She started saying art journal really helped. It helped her to channel the pain and the challenges. Writing the journal on a blank page and then painting over it. Oh, that's dope.
Awesome.
Write it out and then paint over it. That's awesome. I'm gonna borrow that. That's
brilliant.
Freaking dope. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. Art is such therapy. And with the accountability group that I was talking about, we're doing the book, The Artist Way. And so it's all about like eliciting your creative energy, but it's when you go through the book, it gets into boundaries. It gets into all of these other life things that affect your energetic body. But art is therapy, and it is our soul's way of expressing themselves. So I love that tip. It's awesome.
I don't have an artistic bone in my body, but I buy
Everybody does.
Therapeutic for me. Therapeutic. Larry Girl, accountability group. So here's your homework. I want you to start your own accountability group.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's with, you can do it with me. We can email each other. Again, that'll probably last for 15 minutes, but we'll try it. It really is just, for those of you who don't know what Lauren, explain what an accountability group is.
It can be a group of people, or it can be even just one good friend that you trust. The key is that it has to be somebody that you can connect with, that you feel safe with, I would say. And it's about you setting up certain things that you want to be held accountable for, whether maybe that's writing in your journal every day, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's prayer, maybe it's exercise, maybe it's eating. It can be anything, but you tell that other person, like, these are my goals, and I want you to check in with me, and you tell me your goals, I'm going to check in with you. And that way you keep each other. It's like, you have that check-in. And so then because of that deadline, you're like, okay, I got to get my stuff together and do whatever I said I'm going to do. And that it keeps you accountable, because somebody else is going to check in on you. And it's so powerful.
And it's fun because we used to send each other pictures. My friend was like, I'm going to do art, and I'm going to, sew bags. And my goal is to do 5 a month. And so like every week I'd be like, so where are we? How many bags? And she'd send a picture. And then mine was to not be as much of an asshole. And so she would ask, like, so who did you curse out today? And I was like, okay. So what had happened was, I'm kidding. Mine was not, that was
I freaking love you.
That wasn't mine. I should start that though for today.
I will be your partner.
But what was mine was sound healing. I had to play the bowls more, because I got into a space where I just wasn't playing as much, and the most beautiful thing came out of that. So accountability. Giving you sad eyes to guilt. I'm not trying to guilt you into having an accountability group. Yes, Miss May, assholery. That's me. Oh, and you couldn't draw either when you started. So I'm assuming this helped. Wow. Miss May also says self-forgiveness is something she's working on, stumbling through this. It's manifesting for me in weight gain. Yes, last month it started being healthy. It feels good. Congratulations on being 9 pounds down a month. How did you, question for you, if you don't mind me asking, and if you don't mind sharing this, May, how was it? Was it more, did you notice that like eating healthy and that kind of sparked it? Or was it also a combination of addressing the issues that were holding grief? Was it like more physical and spiritual, or is it one or the other? I'm very curious. Because I have a friend who did some very, very intense energy work, and come to find out she had masochist, the personality types. I always screw this up. She's a masochist.
Oh.
This means to be, that's just dealing with childhood trauma. That's kind of what came out. And when she started working on solar plexus chakra, because again, the gut holds the stress. That was so violent. I can't believe it. Just literally that helped aid a lot of the weight loss for her. And I was like, wow, it was very fascinating.
So interesting, because that's actually part of what I wrote down in my notes about the solar plexus is exactly this, like how when we are deficient in the solar plexus department, it slows your metabolism down, because you're not holding enough energy in that space to help your body process. You might have digestive issues and things like that are actually retaining food in your body. Mm-hmm. And it's completely about the energy that we're not maintaining in that space. So part of that is like holding boundaries, and self-forgiveness is a huge one, because shame is like the antithesis, excuse me, of the solar plexus. So if you're holding a lot of shame, forgiving yourself releases that, and that allows your solar plexus to kind of maintain more energy, and that can help with weight loss, which is, it's important to figure out the reasons why, the underlying parts of that.
Hi, Jody. Hi, Jody. One thing that I want to go back to about your heart chakra and solar plexus chakra. Why is it that we have such a hard time acting on our heart's desire? So we spent all this time really talking about heart chakra, what blocks it, what keeps it going, dabbed a little bit into the solar plexus chakra about holding shame is something that blocks it. But why is it that, let's use the weight loss example because we just talked about it. I can want to lose weight all day, every day. This is my heart's desire. I want to lose weight. I'm going to manifest this. But when it goes out, comes time to going to do it, we fall short of this challenge. We have a really hard time executing this. Why is that?
So I think a lot of times it's a lack of congruency within ourselves. Sometimes what we think we want is not really like our true heart's desire. And I think with something like this, where there's like an end in that, a goal that we're kind of moving towards, I think you have to have an association with the feelings. Like what is it going to feel like? And are these the feelings that I'm really aiming for? And is this going to bring me that alignment that leads to that like full life congruency? Like, this is what I want. This is why I want it. This is how I'm going to feel once I receive it. You have to have all of that picture to really continue that motivation, because just wanting something isn't enough. You know, you have to want it you have to understand the why. You have to understand all of the steps that are going to take you to get there. So I think really like planning out what it is that you desire, why you desire it, and the feelings behind it helps you to bring in that sense of alignment that will move you towards that goal.
It is. That's so true. Feeling, like Connie said, feeling is believing. A lot of times, I do a lot of work on visualization practices with certain clients because you can feel it, but you also can become very successful when you actually visualize it and you see yourself and you put yourself in this. You see yourself in the environment, whatever it is you want. And when you take that journey, especially if you can go and do a great shamanic journey even and really go through and get there, and you get so close to it, and you touch it, smell it, taste it, feel it, you kind of like, you know what, that should be a good kickstart for a lot of people to want to follow through. Johnny is saying sometimes we control our intent, but others' judgment control our actions.
Ooh.
I love you said that, Johnny, because that brings me, I love your explanation, Lauren. It was beautiful. For me, I think it's a little bit more simplistic for why our heart desires get stopped with our solar plexus. And it kind of hits on what Johnny says, and that's fear.
Yeah.
Being afraid. I am afraid of the work it may take to go out there and do it. I'm afraid I'm not good enough. I'm afraid others will judge me if I don't accomplish this goal. Fear is a mother bleeper. To me, I feel like fear is one of the biggest impediments to the solar plexus chakra and to the heart chakra. Because how many times have you like, gosh, that dude is fine. I should like try to go holler a little game at him, but I'm kind of scared he's going to reject me. That's fear.
Yeah.
That was a really wild example.
I love it.
But I'm going to be very honest. I've been reaching out to people trying to network, and I literally stopped myself. I'm like, why am I not doing this? Why is this so hard? I'm like, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of rejection.
Afraid of rejection is huge. Yeah.
And fear is my heart's desires is I want to meet these people and I want to have this network, but the fear of being rejected, my solar plexus has stopped me. And that's huge, you guys. What are some ways we can tackle this fear, Lauren?
So, I mean, I think what you said about visualization is huge, because any like really big dream that I've had that I've worked with visualization, it did help me break down the fear around receiving or achieving that goal, because the recognition that it is possible, seeing that vision of like knowing like this is something that could be manifest in my life it makes it more palpable. But, you know, when you mention the fear part, it also brings me back to like, I think sometimes we're scared even of our own potential. So sometimes it's the self-doubt, and sometimes it's also like, then what if I do get this? How am I going to maintain it? Or what is it, there's all these other elements. So fear can manifest in all these different ways. And the ways that you have to kind of break that down is you have to get to the underlying source, and that has to go back to the heart chakra.
Yep.
You know, it comes back to self-love and like true self-love. Like I am valued, I am valuable, I am, able to love and receive love, and I am able to give myself more freely and receive others. And I mean, I think it comes back to being more connected in your heart space, not just your desire, but really residing in that energetic space.
Because once you love and you know that you're worthy of loving, that goes in your heart chakra. That goes back to your solar plexus. I am worthy of taking this action.
And taking action. That's exactly. And then it stems that next.
See guys, this was intentional. They come together. This works together. This was the point. Johnny said, "Amen, amen." Ashamdalaya, Honda, yes. Well said, Lauren. This may be quick. We may be done. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. Lessons learned.
I am worthy is very, very powerful. I am worthy. What are some other? That's a good point. What are some other affirmations?
Yeah. So my favorite one for the heart space is I am loving and lovable. And I think because that kind of sums up the energy of the space. But I am capable of receiving love, I think is a huge one, because I think a lot of people have a block around that, not just, and the receiving love is not just from others, but it's receiving love from ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's a powerful affirmation to connect with.
Yeah.
I operate from my heart is another one that I like to come back to, because it helps to bring my energy back into that space, so that I'm not just trying to, what does my head want is not always in alignment with what my heart really wants. And that's where I think a lot of challenge happens too, with when we are trying to manifest goals. It's like, okay, and which is why I said about like your feelings, because what's it going to feel like? Your head is not going to care what it feels like, but your heart is. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of other affirmations that I like.
One that I really like too is it's kind of a version of what you said earlier. It's I'm open to accepting love from others. Mm-hmm. And what I want to add to that is I am worthy of this love. It's really powerful. I share my love and light easily and freely. I share my light and love easily and freely. The solar plexus chakra, there's a couple that I really, really like. And it's this, believe it or not, it's the same, they're almost the same freaking affirmations. I am worthy of being loved, respected, and listened to. Believe it or not, is a solar plexus chakra affirmation. Because again, that's that willpower and that taking action. I am worthy of the action that I put out. I choose to move forward in my life. Because remember, that's about that self-control and knowing that you have the control. You're in control. In essence, universe is in control too, but you're in control. Okay? And knowing that you have control. I had to tell this to a client last weekend. Thank God that client is not, wait, let me check. Okay, client is not on thread. Actually, he wouldn't mind. Okay. I choose to grow up now. Mm. There's a lot of inner child hurt that we hold on to as humans, as adults, that we still need to heal from. So it wasn't from him being childish and immature. It was giving him the freedom to let go of that childhood hurt and to grow up now. And so he's okay in his space now. I stand strong in my personal power today. I say that all the time before I go into team meetings at work. I am proud and confident. I am proud, confident, and happy with myself. And this is the one that I really want to make sure that we say today that we want everybody to take note of. I deserve and accept the life I dream of. Mm.
So powerful.
Yep. Johnny has a question. Do you need to start this work on your own, or can others help? Or can others help you open this chakra? If you let someone help you, would you then become dependent? Absolutely not. That's what healers do. We help people open their heart chakra. We help balance their heart chakra. We help people balance their solar plexus chakra. I do it on myself all the time. Lauren, have you finished accountability partner? Master yet?
I can't. Everything's shut down, and that's not something I can do online. Like, I need my attunement. I need to feel it. But I mean, I've been practicing on myself, so I will say,
call me. We'll do it distance.
Yeah, we should. I'm in for that.
I hope you finish. Okay. Yes, yeah. Johnny. And actually, it's very funny because I have clients who, and actually, I hope she doesn't mind. I have a person that heals me is in a thread, is in a chat tonight. It's amazing how much I will go to her, or clients come to me expecting that it is I'm going to do the work, and I know as much as I go to my healer, I cheat and I expect her to do work, and I know good darn well that's not what's going to happen. I will help facilitate it, but you'd be amazed how many times I leave my clients with homework. Yeah. Because it's going to just, all the work that we did to open to balance is only going to get you so far. And then when you get angry again or you feel something, it's going to close back up.
Yes.
Here are the tools to help you continue down that path of healing yourself, because it's all about your lifelong journey for healing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, healers can help you get there, though. Healers help you take those steps and help you also cultivate more awareness, because sometimes we're so in our own headspace, we're so in our own bodies that we don't see what somebody else's perspective is. And somebody else's perspective, especially a healer who's in tune with energy, will give you a new perception that will shift the way you view yourself. And that is how growth happens. That's how we can move to this higher sense of perception of ourselves. And that's where change happens.
Yep. Jody, you and Jody said it absolutely perfectly. Healers catalyze growth and encourage you to do it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's funny because I'm always like, I gave someone a homework assignment. I can always tell who's serious because they'll come back and go, that was amazing. Here's what I worked on. What else do you have for me? And I'm like, this person's, they're serious about this. Do colors play a part in this, like yellow clothes or crystals? Lauren, I'll let you take
Yes. I'm like, yes. In fact, I have my some of my crystals here that's for solar plexus. So yellow and orange type crystals are really good for the solar plexus. And then I have, of course, rose quartz is one of my, rose quartz is the heart chakra crystal. Like, that's the go-to. Something that one of my healers taught me once is, if there's a certain energy, specifically for the heart chakra, if you have like a small rose quartz, like put it in your bra, or if you're a man, put it in your shirt pocket if you have that, like somewhere where you can actually hold that energy near that space, because it will draw energy into that space and also just help you be more present with your desire to remain in that energy. And that is a powerful tool for me. So I absolutely do that. Or sometimes I even just have it in my hand and just kind of use it as a touchstone. And it will definitely help you, connect with that awareness. If you're intentional, you have to be intentional with any tools you use. You have to do it intentionally and be cognizant of what your purpose is. But yes, essential oils are another one. Essential oils are a powerful tool to bring energy into different spaces. You can put them on that specific space if your skin's not sensitive, and you can dilute them, of course, first. But that's another tool that I use with the heart chakra, since I was talking about how it's, the element is air, and I use breathing as my number one tool to access my heart space. I'll add in essential oils to breathing techniques and just put some on the palms of my hands, place it over my face, and just breathe it in, like eucalyptus, which, for what's going on in the world right now, I mean, everything is about lungs, and it's not a coincidence, is what I'll say. Like, everything that's going on in the world with how lungs are being affected, there's an energetic connection to what's going on in the world right now.
There is, absolutely. That was heavy. Good question, Shawnee.
Yeah.
You. Should you focus on one chakra over the other? Where one is messed up and dysfunctional? there are times where there are going to be chakras that are more out of balance than others, but it's just like when you put air in your tires. You wouldn't just put that. I mean, yes, sometimes you put that air in that one tire, but you would not check all of your tires,
Mhm.
right? So I think it is. I never, even when I work on myself, when I work on clients, I don't just focus on the one chakra that I feel is really messed up that I can see that needs attention. I work on the whole body, but I may put extra emphasis in that area. And especially, John, can I ask a question, Johnny? Where one is messed up from the dysfunction. Oh, from the dysfunction spreads. I'm sorry. No, Lauren, what is your take on that? Because I know the energetic body is so connected. So, heart chakra imbalance can impact others. Do you feel that it's almost like a cancer where it can become malignant and one chakra imbalance can kind of manifest its way like a cancer to the rest?
I mean, I do think because all of the energetic centers are connected, there will be effects that happen into different centers. But I think that getting to the root issue would be the first step. Yeah. So it's like if you have one space that in your heart and your mind, like when you hear us talk about it and you're in your mind like, oh, that really resonates with me, that's where you should focus your attention to start. But it's exactly what Adrienne said. It doesn't mean to ignore your other spaces because everything is connected. But at the same time, it's like if there's a flat tire, you want to address that first, because if you have a flat tire, you can't get to work on any of the other spaces because you have to at least be able to move. So you want to address where you have the deepest wounds, but not in a way that you're completely not giving any attention or awareness to the other parts of yourself. So I'd say start with that space with an awareness that you want to create balance and harmony, and that will lead to awareness of all the spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a healer will help you understand which space needs work first. I mean, that's what healers will help you understand about yourself. So
yes.
if you're unsure of that, talk to Adrienne.
Well, or you can still do Reikis. Well, there's also, I hope she does not mind. I didn't ask permission, about to do this shit anyway. If you look in the chat, there is a beautiful woman named Jody Roberts. Mm-hmm. Jody is a shamanic healer. Just as Lauren is my ace, my OG from the part of Dallas, Jody is my other. She is like my soul. Why do I feel like I'm about to cry? I think because I'm giving people shout outs and I'm like, it's this, I'm a sum of all my parts. And these are two people who have helped me learn and grow in my path. Jody is absolutely amazing. I'm going to send you the link to her YouTube channel. I'm going to put it in the chat. You can also, she just, thank you. I have your permission. Thank you, ma'am. I was like texting her, I was like, hey, do you mind? He's also a healer because I saw a question that Larry Girl has, which is there anything we can do to help us feel less drained from the world, the world's events and energies that are going out there? Yes, y'all, it's some jacked up energy. Yes. It's really, really intense. And I'm going to try to do this without actually playing it. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to put a link to, Jody has something that is called Cootie Spray. I'm blessed to have a copy of the prayer and the mantra that goes with it. It took me about a week to say, because the word cootie is in it, to say it without giggling at cooties. But the intention of this prayer is this is a sound meditation that Jody has done. It's absolutely beautiful. You can listen to it for free on YouTube, or if you want to purchase the actual MP3 or get other of her MP3s. I just got her PTSD and depression and anxiety track that literally, like that, my whole energy just went, because as much as I can play these little guys all day, it helps to absorb and hear the sound from others. So I put a copy, I think I put it, did I post it? Yes. Yeah, I saw her YouTube channel. Please check her out. I believe on her channel, if you go to the About section, There's also the Star Coyote, because I'm thinking cooties. Star Coyote Sound Temple, Sacred Inspiration. If you go to, I think it's Jody, is it starcoyote.com? Hold on, let me stop. I'm gonna put her link. Check her, go to her website. Absolutely beautiful person. Like I said, her PTSD anxiety track worked immediately with my third eye, my crown, my heart chakra, my solar plexus. Like, she hit the entire energetic body in that beautiful, I think it's like 20 minutes of just bliss. Larry Girl, long story short, in that gratuitous promotion for Jody and for Lauren, go check her out. That cootie spray is specifically for what's going on right now in the world events, and to kind of help give us this beautiful Archangel Michael sphere of protection and to help us get through this time. I hope I explained that right, Jody. And if I know you'll text me and be like, no, you put a text for this. So, guys, what other questions do you have? I love the dialogue and the discussion.
Okay.
This is like, I needed this today. So.
That's awesome. One thing I think that's also important with the energy question about what's going on right now is protect yourself from the energy. Like, make choices that make you feel good. And that means turn off the television, turn off the news, limit the amount of social media that you're taking in, and even, reassess who you're following on social media. Like, are these people, every time you see their posts, do you feel drained and do you feel exhausted just reading what this person has to say? Because if so, stop following them and maybe mute them for a month, because sometimes there's stuff to learn. I'm not saying unfollow anybody who thinks differently than you, because that's not how change happens either. But maybe take a break and pause, give yourself some space so that you can be more tuned into yourself, because what's happening right now is our energy is being drained in a million different directions. And if we let it, we will have nothing left to give to ourselves. So I think that's super important right now, to keep yourself grounded and turn off the external stimulus sometimes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat, Desiree. That was really, really sweet. Johnny wants to know, Johnny, is there a particular chakra you want to protect, or is it just your entire energetic body? How do you protect your, chakra? I'm going to say energetic body, because I think that's what you mean. When you're in a group of people, I karate chop personally. I think that works really well. Couple different things. I actually, depending on the situation, will call on Archangel Michael for protection and put that safety sphere around me. Grounding exercises and breathing exercises do help, because it's about that grounding. Mm-hmm. Grounding to me helps me turn on my third eye. It makes me present. So I am aware of my surroundings, which to me, oh, Jody, hush. Thank you, Jody, for the super chat. For protection from others, so I can see and have that heightened sense. Johnny, I don't know if you're into, I think you're into smells, right? I'm going to send you something, but there's also essential oils help. Lauren, Valor is good, and White Angelica, right?
Angelica is amazing. Yes, it creates a barrier energetically. It's a beautiful blend. Yeah. And I would say also, like, being intentional, like when you recognize that people are kind of pulling your energy, pause for a moment within yourself and make that awareness, like, okay, I'm not going to let them take that away from me.
Or karate chop them.
Hey, sometimes a girl's got to do it, or a person's got to do what a person's got to do. But and cleanse yourself energetically when you leave also, so you don't take it with you after,
Yeah.
Leave it there.
Johnny, that's hard, because you're in a place where you have to be around people all day.
Yeah.
When I worked in a workspace 2020 environment, I get it, because I had people, not to your extent where because you actually had to be nice. I could just still give people side eye and do it. A couple things that I did that helped me. Before I even walked out of my house, calling on my guides and calling on Archangel Michael, putting that safety sphere up. When I got to my destination, I actually make blends. Actually, I used to sell them on my website. I probably should start doing that again. I make what's called, and I literally called it Protection Blend. And it's got a couple different essential oils, and it's charged with Reiki energy. I also put it in one of these little guys and do some little shamanic. You can't do it because I'm holding it crooked. Some little shamanic sound and prayer over it. And I literally 3 times a day, I can say douse myself because it doesn't have a strong smell, but I literally would put that on myself. Breathing exercises to make sure, am I paying attention? What are these crazy people doing? And like Lauren said, at the very end of my day, I would do a release exercise for whatever energy that I may have taken in. I give it back.
Yeah.
And I release that before I would do it on my way home. And Johnny, I would walk home like you, I'm sure you walk home. I would actually do that ritual and that practice as I was walking home. So by the time I stepped foot in my front door, I have worked with my guides to release that energy. And I know what it sounds like. So I was like, what did I list? 4 things: Archangel Michael protection sphere, putting oils on myself, breathing exercises, and doing a exercise to release. But to be honest with you, those 4 things take less than 5 minutes of my day.
Yeah. And with the essential oils, I love when it is in water because there's a cleansing property to water. So using it as a spray, there's just another element of cleansing when there's the water element. And it's like cutting ties. It's like, that's how I envision it when I'm leaving energy behind, is like, I imagine in my head, like cutting the cord, like pretend, like, okay, I'm, energetically cutting that, leaving it behind, not taking it with me to my next destination.
Carrying crystals will help too when you go to work. There's a couple of I don't know why I can't think of the top of my head. Black obsidian, rainbow obsidian's a good one for protection. Yeah. Quartz.
Quartz is what I was thinking.
Yeah, rainbow obsidian and quartz are very good. So maybe put those in pockets. Mm-hmm. I would say stick them in your bra, Johnny, but you can't do that. And then, Johnny, I believe anybody who has, it's called Florida water. It's a cologne, if you will. It's not. It's basically what would you call Florida water, Lauren? It's a cleanser, basically. Yeah. Energetic cleanser. Sprinkle some of that when you walk in through the door. And I know when I do Reiki sessions, before COVID, was doing Reiki sessions on people, I would spray them before we started because I'm like, no offense, I love you, but whatever energy you got, I want you to keep it to yourself because I don't want it to impact my work. And then I would spray them again before they left, as in now I'm sealing in all the goodness. Florida water. And it smells yummy. Sometimes I put Florida water in my diffuser just because. That's so good. Why the hell not? We got time for 2 more questions. And then what I wanted to do too was, I don't know if I want to do it now because I have both of my sound mentors here. I was going to end with a little release kind of prayer to help us balance heart chakra and taking action on what we want, our desires. So, yes. And then, as Jody says, guys, go check her out. She does shamanic music healing. That's what the Cootie track is all about. What else? What other questions do we have? We've got time for 2 more, and then we will end with our releasing the BS that prevents us from living our best damn lives, the lives that we intend. So what other questions do we have? Or other funny quips and stories? I feel like I have. Today was one of those days where I have 22 quips and stories. Lauren, what about Lauren, I have a question for you. When you're a mom and you've got babies, how do you help your children manifest their heart, what they want in their heart's desires, and their action with their solar plexus chakra?
That's a really good question. I try to bring it back to what I talked about earlier, like them being in alignment and asking them when they say they want something, I'm like, okay, like, tell me about your why, so that there's a better understanding for them. They can better comprehend even their own goals in their desires, so that they're not just, grasping at things outside of themselves. Because I think that that's culturally a lot of what we teach children, which turns into adults, is that we need things outside of ourselves to be happy. And so that's something I really try to be aware of with them, not having that, where they just, if they want something, it's for a soul's purpose. And I just try to have conversations with them on their reasoning, why they want that, and then help them move towards it and give them tools so that they feel empowered, that if there is something that they truly want, that they know that if it's meant to be for them, they have the tools within them to move towards those goals. So just trying to make them feel empowered and recognize their own ability to, achieve whatever it is they're hoping to achieve.
Yeah. I love it. They are empowered they have the tools within them.
Yeah. Everybody does. We all do. And that gets lost along the way for so many of us, and for all of us in some ways. But everything that we need is within us. And that's something that is one of, actually, now that we come back to it, like, that's one of my heart center mantras, that I'm like, okay, everything I have is within me, and I'm grateful, and I'm loving, and I'm capable of receiving love from myself, from others. But we all have the tools that we need within us. It's about aligning with our own intuition, our own guides that we all have, and finding the healers that help us access that, power that is within us, but uncovering it sometimes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just try to teach them things that have helped me.
I'm going to teach everybody on the chat a little street vernacular.
Yes.
I've never lived in the hood, but hey, I'll teach you a little street vernacular. And there is this saying that says, I ain't no hoe. Not hoe as in a loose person who's promiscuous, but I ain't no hoe. I'm not going to back down from something. I'm not a punk. In other words, I'm not scared. I've got this. And so sometimes you have to square up in the mirror and look at yourself and go, I ain't no hoe. I got this. I ain't no chump. I ain't no chili pimp. I ain't no wuss. I ain't no sucker. I ain't no nothing. I got this. And if you don't want to use hood vernacular, you can just say, I am worthy. I'm loved. Everything that I need is within me. But sometimes you do have to kind of square up on yourself.
Yep. Exactly.
And realize that you have everything that you need. Just a couple more questions one question and one that I love kicking things. I want to answer, and then one more thing to point out, and then we'll end tonight. Johnny says outside energy is real, but with fear and self-doubt are the worst enemy, as well as the greatest help to our chakras. I'm gonna turn this back on you, Johnny, and say our mind is our greatest asset and also our greatest enemy.
So true.
And like you said, you hit it very well. Sometimes our thoughts, our minds, as I call it, the counselor in me calls it, our cognition, can be the best thing to recognizing a situation, to knowing that fight or flight, I need to take action. But it can also hold you back and create some scenarios, as we call them in cognitive behavioral therapy, that will hold you back.
Yeah.
Where do you get crystals? Okay, that is a loaded question, because you can buy some on the interwebs and you can take a shit shot in the dark, and some can be great, some can be horrible.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live, I would say the best thing is to, and this is again with coronavirus, it's going to be interesting. Yelp or Google any kind of metaphysical store in your area. If those do not exist, Etsy is pretty good. I have yet to see something that wasn't good on Etsy. What do you think?
I totally agree with that. I think Etsy would be a better choice than something like Amazon, where it's going to be, who knows what you get.
I'm going to show you all these jackass crystals I got. Why did I buy them? off the Amazon. I don't know.
Sometimes it's just easy. Yeah.
Jack leg and bootleg. I'm like,
oh no.
That's dusty. Like, shit, Crystal is dusty. Why is this dusty? And why can't I get the dust off the research, you're absolutely welcome, ma'am. Start with a Yelp, Google search, metaphysical stores. I think is the best way to start because you can touch it, feel it. They'll guide you and help you. Well, what are you looking for? You can go through all that. Crystals do get kind of pricey, so it is good to also see them in person so you can understand what you're getting. And if that does not work, Etsy is the next best option. All right, so let's get into this. This is probably going to be short, but what I want to do is our gift, as Lauren and I have promised, I guess it was an unspoken spoken promise, maybe. I think this is the first time I've articulated this. Our gift to you guys for every session for joining in is we will leave you with a gift. And our gift tonight is this prayer, this mantra, this guided, I don't even want to call it a guided meditation because I'm not really going to do that, is to this prayer for all of us in our space right now to release whatever holds us back from obtaining the life that we want. And I love including sound when I do any type of prayer. That's part of the shamanic work that the beautiful Jody and the Laurens of the world, and the Kennys and the other people that I've had the blessing to work and study under have taught me. It also is part Hathor in me and the healer in me. I love sound because it also helps your energetic body to absorb the vibrations and set the intention of whatever you're asking the universe for. So right now I want to ask the universe for its help in opening our heart chakra. Please open our heart chakras so we are more open to receiving love within ourselves and from ourselves. So help us with our heart chakras to be open to receive this love for ourselves. Also ask right now that we take a moment and reflect, what do we really want out of our lives? What is it that you want? And you don't have to answer out loud. Just take a moment and just reflect. What is it, universe? What is it, self? What is it that I want out of my life right now? And once you've asked that question and you get the answer, I want you to ask, what is in the way of me attaining that goal? What stops me from having this life that I want? These things that I want? What's stopping me? Is it something that's truly external? Like you need $18,000 to put that down payment on that house? And if it is external, my ask from the universe is that that external force is removed immediately from your life. That obstacle is removed. Henceforth, forevermore, that obstacle is removed. If whatever is stopping you from obtaining these goals is internal, I want you to sit with that for a minute and ask yourself, why is this internal blockage stopping me from obtaining the life that I want? Is it fear? Is it self-doubt? Is it worry? And if it is, I ask the universe to release that fear, that worry, that self-doubt, that judgment, that criticism from your heart. So it opens your solar plexus chakra so you can begin to take action. I also ask the universe right now, as it removes that hurt and fear and worry and judgment, that it refills your heart with love, with compassion for yourself, and compassion for others. Because that is the key to helping you obtain your goals. And I leave you with this one last and final message to remind yourself that you deserve and accept the life that you dream of. And with that, guys, karate chop that fear and look in the mirror tomorrow morning and say, ain't no hope. I got this. All right. I hope that was helpful. Katie, I'm sorry that sound irritates you. Sorry it makes you nervous. Usually if sound makes you nervous, there's something deeper energetically that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
I have a very good friend. Sound made her nervous for a long time. And then once she started working through addressing the root cause of that issue, she was able to deal with sound. So I'm sorry that was hard for you. But for those it wasn't, thank you so very much for tuning in. Next month, it's first Thursday of the month. If you've got questions, shoot them to me ahead of time. We will answer them. We will have discussion. We will chit chat, kiki, and ha-ha. Lauren, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. Jody, thank you for everything that you do. And please, Larry Girl, thank you so much for posting the link to Jody. To everybody who just spent time with us and held space with us. Thank you so much. Go out and achieve everything that your hearts desire, guys. With love. See you guys next video. Take care.